Have you ever wondered what would happen if everyone disappeared except you? Picture it, the world buzzing with life one moment, then eerily silent the next. This isn't about an alien abduction or a mass exodus to Mars, no. We're talking about a sudden, inexplicable vanishing act, with you as the sole remaining human. Imagine the immediate effects. The silence would be the first thing you'd notice. The lack of human chatter, the absence of car engines rumbling, the silence of cities that never slept. The stillness would be deafening, enveloping the world in an unprecedented tranquility. Next would come the realization of an absence, a lack of human activity. Busy streets would be deserted, bustling markets would stand still, and the constant hum of human life would be reduced to nothing more than a whisper of what it once was. The world's metropolises, once teeming with life, would stand as hollowed-out shells, echoing the silence of a world devoid of its inhabitants. The immediate confusion and panic would be overwhelming. Questions would flood your mind. Where did everyone go? Why am I the only one left? The answers to these questions may never come, but the reality of the situation would be staring you right in the face. The world as you know it, the world that was once filled with the hustle and bustle of human life, would be no more. The world would become a vast empty stage with you as the lone player. You would stand alone in the midst of towering skyscrapers and sprawling cities, the last vestiges of a world that once was. Every corner of the globe, from the busiest city to the most remote wilderness, would be yours and yours alone. As the lone survivor, the world as you know it has drastically changed. The Earth, once a cradle of human civilization, would be transformed into a silent monument to the species that once dominated its surface. The Great Vanishing Act would have been performed, leaving you alone in the spotlight. The next act? Well, that's a story for another time. In the first few days you will notice some immediate changes. Imagine power plants that once hummed with energy, now stand silent. The internet, our global information superhighway, halts to a standstill. And water systems, once the lifeblood of our cities, cease to flow. It's not just us humans that vanish, but the fruits of our labor and our technological triumphs do too. However, we're not the only inhabitants of this planet. Consider our pets, those faithful companions who've shared our homes and hearts, left to fend for themselves. And what about the farm animals? The cows, the chickens, the sheep? They're all suddenly without caretakers. It's a poignant picture of a world in transition, a world where human-made structures and systems shrivel, while other life forms scramble to adapt. Without humans, the world starts to reset. After a few weeks, the power of nature becomes evident. With the disappearance of all but one human, our urban jungles start to crumble under the unyielding force of nature. Concrete and glass, once symbols of human achievement, begin to bow to the might of the natural world. Vines and vegetation slither their way through the cracks in our cities, slowly but surely. Our grand skyscrapers become vertical gardens, their steel skeletons draped in green. Streets, once bustling with traffic, morph into wild meadows. Without human intervention, our towns and cities become a stage for a grand performance where nature is the star. Simultaneously, the world's wildlife starts to venture into territories previously dominated by humans. Deer graze in what used to be suburban parks, bears rummage through abandoned supermarkets, and birds nest in the hollows of deserted buildings. The urban landscape transforms into a sprawling safari, teeming with creatures that once hid in the shadows of human civilization. Even the ocean life thrives in the absence of human activity. With no fishing nets to entangle them or pollution to poison them, marine species flourish. Coral reefs, once bleached and dying, begin to regain their vibrant colors. Fish schools swim freely, unthreatened by overfishing. The silent underwater world hums with life once again. Meanwhile, the air starts to change. Without factories belching smoke or cars spewing exhaust, pollution levels begin to decrease. The once smog-filled skies clear up, revealing the true, unfiltered beauty of our planet. The stars shine brighter, the sunsets are more vivid, and the air is fresher. The Earth begins to breathe easier without the constant chokehold of pollution. As weeks turn into months, it becomes clear that our planet has an incredible capacity for regeneration. Nature, in its undisturbed state, is resilient, rejuvenating, and remarkably adaptable. It's a silent yet powerful testament to the world's ability to heal and flourish when left unchecked by human interference. Nature has a way of healing itself when left unchecked by human interference. The world in its purest form is a symphony of life, a testament to the resilience of the natural world. It's a sobering reminder of the transient nature of human existence and our potential impact on this beautiful planet we call home. Fast forward a few years, and the world is unrecognizable. The concrete jungles that once dominated the skyline have crumbled into ruins. Skyscrapers and bridges, once symbols of human achievement, now stand as skeletal reminders of a civilization that no longer exists. Without human intervention, the forces of nature gradually reclaim these architectural marvels. Buildings, roads, and monuments all succumb to the relentless march of time and the elements. Imagine the Eiffel Tower, once a beacon of human ingenuity, now just a rusting hulk, its intricate iron latticework slowly eroding away. The Great Wall of China, an enduring testament to human perseverance, gradually crumbling brick by brick back into the earth from whence it came. The towering skyscrapers of Manhattan, once gleaming with glass and steel, now stand as silent, decaying monoliths, their windows shattered, their structures slowly eaten away by wind, rain, and the relentless creep of vegetation. But while man-made structures falter and fail, nature thrives. Wildlife, once pushed to the fringes of human civilization, now roams freely. Deer graze in the deserted streets of what was once Times Square. Lions prowl through the concrete savanna that was Johannesburg. Dolphins leap in the sunlit waters of the deserted Venice canals. Forests, once cut back to make way for human development, slowly creep back into the spaces we left behind. The Amazon, once threatened by deforestation, expands, swallowing up the abandoned cities and towns that once encroached upon its borders. The Sahara Desert, no longer held back by human intervention, spreads, its golden sands engulfing the deserted towns and cities of North Africa. In this new world, the planet reverts to a pre-human state, a wild, untamed Eden, where nature is once again the dominant force. The air is cleaner, the skies clearer, the waters purer. Yet, amidst the thriving wildlife and the burgeoning forests, there's an eerie silence, a profound stillness that serves as a stark reminder of the absence of human life. The world has moved on, flourishing in our absence. The world moves on with or without us. But what about you, the last human on Earth? Let's delve into the reality of this situation. As the only Homo sapien left, you'd face a myriad of challenges. Survival would take precedence, of course. With no one to rely on but yourself, you'd need to become self-sufficient. Your survival skills would need to be top-notch, foraging for food, setting up shelter, and ensuring you have clean water to drink. But we must not forget the psychological toll. Loneliness could become your constant companion. The silence, the absence of human interaction would be deafening. There'd be no one to share a laugh with, to argue with, or to simply sit in silence with. The human mind is not built for such isolation. It craves connection, interaction, and companionship. Yet in the face of these immense obstacles, opportunities for a new beginning also present themselves. You might find solace in the idea of starting over, of creating a new world from the ashes of the old. Living off the land, you'd become intimately connected with nature, understanding the rhythms and patterns of the earth in a way few ever have. And what about your legacy? You, the last human, have a unique opportunity. With no one else to shape the narrative, you'd have the power to leave behind any story you choose. You could etch your experiences into stone, paint them across abandoned city walls, or record them in countless books left untouched in desolate libraries. You could document the human experience, the rise and fall of our species, from a perspective no one else could provide. You could leave a record of our triumphs, our failures, our hopes, and our fears. You could tell our story, one last time, for whoever or whatever might stumble upon it in the distant future. In the grand scheme of things, our existence is but a blip in the timeline of the Earth. Yet as the last human, you would carry the weight of our entire species, a poignant testament to our resilience, our spirit, and our shared humanity. So what can we learn from this thought experiment? Well, several fascinating things actually. First, we've seen how our planet, in all its robust beauty, would recover and thrive in the absence of human interference. Forests would reclaim cities, animals would roam freely, and the air would be cleaner than it's been for centuries. This resilience of nature is a powerful reminder of our responsibility to protect and preserve it. Secondly, this journey has also highlighted the profound importance of human connection and society. Without our fellow humans, the world as we know it would change drastically. The infrastructure, the culture, the shared experiences that we often take for granted would no longer exist. In essence, this isn't just a thought experiment about what would happen if everyone disappeared. It's a wake-up call, a reminder of our role in this world, and the importance of our actions. Remember, it's not about how we leave the Earth, but how we live on it that truly matters.